Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks be to Allah, Lord of the world. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon Prophet Muhammad, his family and his companions. Excellency Professor Malacca, Representative of World Zakat Forum, Bapak Menteri, Professor Bambang, Moderator, Professor Dafar, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Before I start my statement, I must first say I'm not an expert on Zakat. And as the Secretary General of DA, I also must admit not much is known about this organization, even in the Muslim countries. What I'll do today is to share some of the things that we do at the organizations. Let me begin by saying that I would like to first extend my sincere appreciation to World Zakat Forum for holding this conference and for being keen to hold it every year in the presence of devoted stakeholders of Zakat from all around the world. I would like to thank the organizer for bringing such an important issue to the attention of D8, and would in particular want to express my sincere gratitude to Professor Bambang Sudipyo, the Secretary General of the World Zakat Forum, for his kind invitation to me. I also would like to thank our Minister and other distinguished scholars for their valuable presence, and wish them utmost success in today's discussion. It is my fervent belief that our endeavors will create synergies to endorse Zakat not only as a means to spiritual fulfillment, but also as an economic leverage for the betterment of our nations and the Muslim Ummah as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to say that I am humbled to be given the opportunity to speak among such a scholarly crowd, immense of such knowledge and devotion. Yet, I believe that on my part, I can make a valuable contribution, that I think I am a man of action, determination and belief. My organization, the D8 Organization for Economic Cooperation, is an intergovernmental organization founded in 1997 by 8 developing Muslim countries, namely Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Malaysia, Nigeria, Pakistan and Turkey. The aim of our organization is to increase economic cooperation among our member states in order to boost economic growth and sustainable development and promote the well-being of our citizens. Before I continue any further, allow me to present you a short corporate video. As I said, not much is known about the organization, that summarizes the founding principle and current achievement of our organization. Can you please play the video, and please enjoy the video.
In the mid-1990s, the world was whirling round and round in that same old rut. Wars, injustice, conflicts, oppression, discrimination, and exploitation were maintaining their existence as unsolvable problems. The global powers did not appear willing to do something to solve these problems. However, it was necessary to tell the truth. More than that, to go into action. The first spark to that end was ignited in Istanbul in 1996. Necmettin Erbakan, one of the former prime ministers of Turkey, suggested an idea during the Development Cooperation Conference. It was necessary to unite around common purposes and goals. 8 Muslim participants of the conference, Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Malaysia, Nigeria, Pakistan, and Turkey, have come together around this idea. The little spark was about to turn into a strong and warming fire. A year later, the Organization for Economic Cooperation, known as D8, was founded on June 15, 1997. Peace instead of war, dialogue instead of conflict, cooperation instead of exploitation, justice instead of double standards, equality instead of discrimination, democracy instead of oppression should have prevailed ever after. But these principles, each symbolized with a star in the D8 logo today, became widespread in the world, the socio-economic development would accompany them. In this way, the D8 member countries would improve their positions in the global economy, to be able to find different and new opportunities in commercial relations, to have more say in the international decision-making process, and raise their standards of living. And that was exactly what happened. Since its first years, the D8 countries have begun to achieve great socio-economic leaps. While the sum of their gross domestic products was 1.2 trillion US dollars in 1987, it is 4 trillion US dollars today. This figure corresponds to almost 5% of the global GDP, the annual per capita national income. On the other hand, has risen to almost $5,000 today from below $2,000 on average in 1997. The trade among the D8 countries was at the level of $15 billion in 1997. Now, it has risen to $110 billion, the volume of trade since its foundation. On the other hand, is almost $2 trillion, indicating a hard-to-believe success. All such accelerations of the member countries have effects on not only themselves, but also the countries with which they interact globally. Because the basic concepts on which D8 rises are the ones needed by the whole world, not only these 8 Muslim member countries. The works have been continued in a very busy manner to prevent any hindrance to relationships and reinforce the connections established among the member countries. To that end, the summit, attended by heads of state of the member countries, is organized biannually. The council, consisting of the foreign ministers, on the other hand, is the place where the political decisions are taken. It is also a platform where various problems are handled. The last organ of the organization is the Commission. It is composed of the commissioners, appointed by the government and performs the executive function. The D8 Secretariat, located in Istanbul, directs the traffic of the whole organization. And it is also the department that organizes the meetings. Then, what awaits the world and D8 in the future? Actually, these 8 Muslim countries have already proven to the world what could be achieved through unification, and that the difficulties could be overcome through dialogue and good relations. The countries that are a member to this organization built this foundation of justice in which no one loses, are aware of the fact that there is still so much to do. Today, the world population is 7 billion. The share of the D8 countries in this population is 1/7. In other words, the total population of the countries member to this powerful organization is above 1.1 billion. It is obvious what kind of a power this population, which is mostly young, could turn into when it is guided correctly. And this is the goal of D8 for the future. It is not a dream to increase the accomplishments gained thus far exponentially by placing this young population at the focus of industrial and agricultural production, transportation technologies, tourism, energy investments, and international trade. When this happens, there will be no obstacle for D8 countries to become an economic powerhouse. With the projects D8 plans to implement soon, those 6 stars in its logo will shine more brightly. And those 6 stars will light up the whole world.
Thank you for your attention. I believe that the macroeconomic indicators have clearly depicted our organizations as the next economic powerhouse. As you have been presented, since establishment, the countries have advanced to a combined GDP of $4 trillion, export of $1.5 trillion, and inter-trade of $110 billion. Among all indicators, however, the real novelty of D8 is that it is home to 1.1 billion people, 80% of which is Muslim. We are an international organization embracing global values. However, we simply cannot disregard 850 million Muslims living in our nation. Quoting Amirul Mu'minin Sayyidina Ali, the ruled cannot prosper unless the rulers are sunk. Therefore, in our capacity as the rulers, it is our foremost duty to cater for the needs of our citizens and endow them with the environment, the mindset, and the institutions that will better enable them to fulfill their responsibilities. Which brings us to the core issue of this conference, Zakat. Ladies and gentlemen, today we tend to think social policy and welfare state as new invention. However, the very foundation of transferring resources from the rich to the poor as a means to alleviate social inequality is already well reflected in the practice of Zakat. Loftiest socio-economic aspirations of the 21st century set forth by the nation, which are known as the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, of alleviating hunger, improving health, reducing inequality, have already been underscored by the Islamic principle and Zakat. In particular, independent studies show that in order to reach these SDGs, the world needs $3 to 5 trillion annually, but current investment falls short at around $1.4 trillion. Zakat by itself creates $2.5 trillion, allowing this investment gap to be filled while also promoting peace and development. Some of our member states have been successful in establishing formal structures to institutionalize Zakat. In this regard, I would like to refer to Malaysia, who has one of the most extensive Islamic finance environment and the Zakat collection system in the world. As an integral part of Islamic and Malay culture, Zakat is administered by a special body called Majlis Agama Islam Negeri, or MAIN. The Islamic Religious Council of each state, or MAIN, plays a unique role in the administration of Zakat. Some councils like Selangor and Sarawak have privatized both their Zakat collection and distribution, and some has made Zakat payment as convenient as through check, bank draft, or postal order, payable via salary deduction, Zakat agents, and Zakat counters. The system is advanced and offers bespoke solutions to Muslims, allowing them to fulfill their duties in an efficient and convenient manner. Apart from being one of the most fundamental tools of Islamic economy in bridging the gap between the rich and the poor, Zakat also acts as fiscal leverage, providing tax rebates, allowing Muslim people to get rid of double taxation. At this point, I would like to draw your attention to an independent case study carried out by a Turkish researcher. The study analyzes a group of highly populated Muslim countries and find out that if they were to follow the Malaysian system of compulsory and permanent monthly salary deduction scheme, Bangladesh would collect $43 billion. Pakistan would collect $33 billion. Indonesia, $69 billion. Egypt, $24 billion. And Turkey, $14.4 billion. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about an annual resource of $183 billion in 5 countries alone. The amount of socio-economic change this resource can stir and the impact it will have on our societies, I would leave that to your imagination. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished scholars, it is this very impact that drives me and my organization to reconsider our position in this fundamental issue. The benefits are apparent, however, the institutional framework is missing. As D8, we believe that we can help solve this issue by aiding the establishment of an all-encompassing and self-sustaining platform. But before I delve into the details of this grand project, let me inform you about the existing structures at our disposal. As the D8 Secretariat, we prioritize private initiative, reward activity, and keep faith in the young and bright entrepreneurs of our nations. To make best use of this innovative potential, we have initiated the D8 Project Support Fund. The fund aims at financing pre-feasibility and feasibility studies of projects that bear significant for the economic and social endeavors of our organization. From smart application to fintech initiative, from halal ventures to novel ways of Islamic finance, we encourage young entrepreneurs of our member state to approach us with their project. At this point also, I would like to elaborate on our memorandum of understanding with the Islamic Development Bank, a scheme that has granted us access to one of the world's leading financial resources. The MOU envisages cooperation in areas of implementations of joint projects and SME finance, as well as allocations of scholarship through IDB scholarship program and exchange of knowledge and information. We are also actively encouraging our member states to utilize the science and innovation platform of ISDB, namely Engage and Transform networks. In this regard, I once again call innovators, SMEs, private sector, NGOs, companies and government to approach us with their projects in order to instill the dynamism of innovation to our economies. We are also assessing alternative methods of SME finance in our countries. One successful example I would like to refer to is from Selangor, Malaysia. Selangor Board of Zakat or Lembaga Zakat Selangor, LZS, as a privatized entity, has established a group of entrepreneurial zakat receivers known as Kumpulan Usahawan Masnaf Zakat, KUAS. This establishment provides a platform for the productive zakat recipients to get exposure on their economic development programs, as well as disseminating significant information on generating additional income, such as building entrepreneurial skill and motivation program. We believe that this is a perfect example of using zakat as a benevolent fund and investigate the applicability of this best practice in all member states, both at municipal and at national level. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the existing and somewhat tangible platforms we all encourage you to participate. But at this level, allow me to express my deep enthusiasm now that we are embarking on a much bigger and rather ambitious initiative by optimizing the Islamic financial tools such as zakat, wakaf, Islamic banking, halal, and so on. We would name it as Creative Islamic Economic Zone. Industry has been at the core of the cooperation right from the very beginning. During my term in office, I have initiated talk with stakeholders from member states on the possibility of building an industrial zone. As the idea flourished, we started discussing the inclusion of new elements and new structures to the system and ended up realizing that there has not been a solid attempt to build an Islamic economic zone. Excellencies, I would like to encourage you all to think about the virtue and grandiosity of this initiative. An economic zone engaged in halal ventures, funded by wakaf and zakat system, encouraged to engender and transfer technology, and governed solely by the Islamic principle. The self-sustaining economic system that will be the token of our spiritual and economic commitment. At the presence of esteemed minister, I hereby call the governments of the D8 state, other Muslim countries and Muslim communities to seriously consider this plan. As D8, we have already initiated talks with stakeholders on the prospective design of this creative Islamic economic zone and encourage all member states to be part of this highly ambitious yet rewarding economic project. Before I end my words, I would like to refer to Holy Quran in Surah Tawbah, verse 103, as already quoted by the Honorable Minister yesterday in his keynote address. Khudh min amwalihim sadaqatan tutahhiruhum wa tuzakkihim biha wa salli alayhim inna salataka sakanun lahum wallahu sami'un alim. Prophet Muhammad take a portion of their possession, the zakat, so that you may thereby purify them of their evil and enhance them in their virtuous deeds and pray for them. Your prayer is indeed a source of solace, and Allah is all-hearing, all-knowing. As you see, zakat payment is a process of cleansing the wealth and its honor. Allah not only promises rewards in the hereafter, but also to bless an enterprise so that it becomes more profitable. Zakat payment should not be seen as a burden, but rather a way for Muslims to appreciate the wealth that is bestowed upon them and to help those who are less fortunate. It is our duty to create platforms and environment to make this not only possible, but also reachable and applicable for the Muslim Ummah by all means available to us. As D8, we stand ready to partner with anyone and everyone who aims at serving the economic aspirations of our nation and the needs of our people. Thank you for your listening. Wassalamualaikum.